tell us about these red lines, these boundaries, and are there expectations that President-elect Trump in his second term might sort of attempt to go beyond them?
Well, I think the big thing about a second Trump administration is there's a great deal of uncertainty about what exactly a U.S.-China relationship would look like. So it appears that in this conversation that President Xi had with President Biden, essentially a farewell chat, President Xi tried to lay out some guardrails to that relationship. He made the point that 4 red lines that President Xi laid out in that meeting. One, that the U.S. should not seek to contest the Communist Party's grip on power in China, that the United States should not try to push China to become a democracy, that the United States should not try to contain China's economic rise, and lastly, and probably most importantly, that the United States should not support Taiwanese independence. And so it did seem President Xi, ahead of a new Trump administration, trying to put some guardrails, bumpers around where this relationship could go.
They also discussed some guardrails around artificial intelligence.
Well, there are lots of different areas in which the United States and China actually agree. And so one where we saw an agreement come out of the APEC summit was an agreement that neither country would hand over the ability to use nuclear weapons to AI systems. That has been a big concern, that as AI progresses, as it is integrated to more and more weapon systems, that there could be some unintended consequences set off by the use of AI. And both countries, both presidents now agreeing that they will prevent that.
We had a guest earlier talking about how China might be open for more bilateral relations and a stronger friendship even with Japan, given its economic slowdown. What are we seeing in terms of a recovery or turnaround in China? We know that we have the loan prime rates also being announced by commercial lenders later this week.
Well, we've got some data recently that shows that potentially the economy is starting to rebound, to respond to the stimulus that the government has introduced over the last couple of weeks. We've seen some improved numbers for the real estate market, which is probably the most important part of the economy at the moment because of the crisis that we've been going through over the last 2 years. We've seen an uptick in retail sales. And so I think what we're looking for is a continued recovery trend in all the data and potentially corporate earnings that come out over the next few months. And the reach outs to places like Japan, to Korea, to other countries across Asia and in Europe, I think that is just part and parcel of everybody getting ready for a second Trump administration, not knowing what lays ahead. If there are going to be tariffs, China looking for ways to keep its access to as many markets open as possible.